It's the Brad and John Show.
The Brad. Let me try that again. Hold on. My voice is screwed up. Hold on a minute, John. I don't talk for 3 minutes. My voice doesn't work anymore. It's the Brad and John Show. Today's date is July 23rd. It's the day before what day, John?
It's one of my favorite days in the last 15 minutes that I've learned about, which is 247day.com day. That's 247day.com. If you go there, you can learn about how you can advertise on Westplex 107.1 as well as Westplex Talk 104.5.
Right. John, I'm going to ask you a nosy question. Was there anything in your schooling? Did you go to Twillman School as well, too?
No, I am wildly offended, Brad. I went to Larimore Elementary School.
That's right. You were closer to Larimore. Okay. I went to Twillman. Okay. And I can still remember something that happened. I was probably in the first or second grade. And, back then, you started to see the society as it's going to turn out. You saw the nerdy guys. And keep in mind, I wore glasses since I was 5 years old. So I was I think in my second grade class.
And you still had two functional eyes back then, right?
Yes. That was before my ill-fated operation on January 2nd, 2002, which, by the way, I talk about this, and I'm not trying to do the bob and weave, but the building that I had my operation on, they just tore it down right there at 40 and 270.
Yeah, you mentioned this, Brad. It's right at 270 in Manchester,
right?
No,
270 and 40 is the building.
270 and 40, that's right.
It's the building that if you're going west and 40 and you go on the curve and the ramp splits off a little bit further down the ramp onto north and southbound 270, it's the building that sort of was built around the curve there. It had like a curvature to it.
And they're tearing it down, Brad.
Well, it's gone now. There's nothing left of it. It's gone. Okay, so back in grade school, I think I was in second grade, and it's one of those things where you start to see who the nerds are and who the cool kids are and stuff like that. And there was a cool kid in my class, and there was this girl who I was in love with who was like just gorgeous back in second grade. And this guy who was going to be one of the cool kids, the guy was going to like stuff me in my locker in high school, which never happened. And he says to me, "Hey, Denise really likes you." And I went, "What?"
Wasn't her name? I thought her name started with a D, but it wasn't Denise. Man.
No, it's Denise. And he says, "Denise really likes you." And this went on for a couple weeks. And finally he says, "Denise really likes you. And she lives near me. Matter of fact, we ride the same bus, and she talked about you, and she wants to talk to you."
Oh, no. Brad, did you go approach her? What did she say?
I got up enough nerve one day, and I walked up. I go, "Hey, Denise." And she says, "Yeah." And I said, "He told me that you're really into me." And she looks at me right square in the eye, looked at my two good eyes at the time, and smiled and says,
"What would you do with a brain if you had one?"
Sorry, John.
My theory is the folks, I think it's MGM that own the rights to that movie, have worked out some sort of a subtle endorsement deal. They call that native advertising, yes. Where it feels organic. It feels like that's just Brad being quirky, but you actually get a commission for every time you run that clip.
How did you know that, John? How did you know that?
I have access to your email. I see everything you say to Cleetus McFarland. And boy, is it kinky. When you started that story and you said you remember things from Twillman Elementary School, something happened when you were in second grade, I thought, wow, did some priest from Our Lady of Loretto stroll over and have a little chat with you in the hallway?
John, I'm going to go. You mentioned something. It's funny. You mentioned things. I watched the funniest Cleetus McFarland video. For those of you who don't know who Cleetus McFarland is, he's an interesting guy. He's now probably a multimillionaire. Was going to be an attorney, got blown out, got tired of being an attorney. He's now doing all sorts of videos and stuff like that. He's like one of the YouTube stars. Okay, on Facebook Marketplace, this is an honest-to-God true story. Someone says to him, "Hey, there's a guy selling a jet-powered Camaro." And he's going like, "Yeah, no way." So he finds this ad. He's down in Bradenton, Sarasota area. That's where the racetrack and everything is. He finds this ad and tracks down this ad. I can't remember what state it was. And sure enough, a guy who had worked on this car and modified it, and it had a jet helicopter engine in it, and he bought it for $15,000. Okay, so they truck it back to his garage down there in Bradenton, and this has been like a video. This is like the second or third, maybe in the fourth video they do, where they get it, and it's a really cool car. It's like, I don't know, like maybe like a late 80s, early 90s Camaro, something like that. And the guy has taken out the engine and put in a turbine jet engine in the car and built an exhaust system and the whole bit, okay? And the problem they were having with it was they couldn't get it started. And they could, if you've ever heard I mean, this is still a familiar, sound to me when I used to fly helicopters. You'd hit the start button and the starter motor would kick in. If you ever heard jet engines, they wind up, and then they ignite. And you hear where the engine starts to go like that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so you hear that sound when he fires it up.
But he couldn't get it to ignite. And they worked on it. And then when it got to ignite, they were watching the oil pressure, and the oil pressure was low. Okay, so some viewer of the channel says, hey, man, I work for one of the airlines. I'm a jet engine mechanic. Fly me down there, and I'll fix it for you. So they flew the guy down. This is a whole episode. They fly him down, and sure enough, he says, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And they figure out the problems. So the latest video, which they put up yesterday, is they got the thing running, okay? And then they find out that it's got an afterburner button, so they hit the afterburner, and like 20-foot flames comes out of the back of this Camaro. So then they decide, hey, once they get it, to the point where it will run and everything like that, and keep in mind they have to wear earplugs to drive the thing, they decide they're going to go to McDonald's to get McFlurries. So two of the other guys that work with them follow behind in their pickup truck, and they drive into Bradenton, Florida, and they go into a McDonald's, and they're sitting at the drive-thru, and the engine's so loud the drive-thru person can't hear them. So finally they shut the engine down, and they order 4 McFlurries. It's Cleetus and another guy in the car, and the two guys behind him. And guess what happens, John?
Oh, what happened, Brad?
The McFlurry machine's broke. The ice cream machine's broke.
Oh no! Of course, Brad.
Yes.
Boy, what an advertisement for McDonald's.
Yes, and what's interesting is one of the guys says, if you were the CEO of McDonald's and every video on YouTube talked about the ice cream machine being broken at McDonald's, wouldn't you come up with a system where they would not break? And I said the same thing. I mean, that would be like if you went to Kentucky Fried Chicken one day, and there's an interesting story about KFC as well too. Have you seen the new reimagined Colonel where he's mad? Have you seen this?
No, what's he mad about, Brad?
Because he's not the number one chicken guy anymore. And the new ad campaign is he's mad, and they're going to claw their way back to being the number one chicken claw.
Wait, who's the number one chicken place?
I can't remember. It's not them anymore. And can I say why it's not number one anymore?
Why is that? Oh, Brad, let me guess. They used to charge $2.09, and then I went there the other day and it was $2.19. John, what is that? 10% price increase? Yeah.
No, it was because of the fact that have you been to Kentucky Fried Chicken lately?
No, I value my health and my well-being. 4
different locations I've gone to the point where one of them was they had their big ad campaign, and hey, it's the new KFC nuggets, and I go to one location. Oh, sorry, we're out of those. I go another location. We're out of those. And the other location I go to, and this is the one I'm not going to call anybody out, but it's the one
on Jungermann. Yeah, what happened?
It's the one on Jungermann.
It's the one on Jungermann, and what happened, Brad?
The one on Jungermann. I go in there, and I place my order, and 30 minutes later, I don't have my order, and I finally said to the guy, can I have my money back? And he says, I don't know how to open the cash drawer. I'm going like, okay, I give up.
So now, Brad, when an incident like that happens, when you get your receipt, do you fill out the thing to let the people know, hey, I waited 30 minutes for the sake of your future customers. I want you to know about this. So whatever happened, you can not have it happen again.
Do you believe anybody reads those?
Yeah, I do.
Do you really? You really believe somebody reads those?
Yeah, I believe that at a percentage of QSRs, quick serve restaurants, it actually filters down. If you fill in correctly your location number, it would go to an area manager, and then they can decide whether to read them or not.
Then why the hell doesn't McDonald's fix their ice cream machines? I can
probably because nobody complains about it.
Oh.
And I'm sure you've seen, Brad. And forgive me, I don't want us to retell the same stories over and over again. But did we discuss a gentleman who put together a video to explain why the ice cream machines at McDonald's are frequently out of commission?
John, I'm looking at the McBroken website right now.
That's what it is. There you go, Brad. You know what? I stand corrected. You smartened me up to this a few months ago. I didn't know about it until you.
Right. Okay. I'm looking at the St. Louis metro area map right now, and it shows all the McDonald's locations, and they either have one of three different dots. It's either green, which means the ice cream machine's working, or a red, it means that the ice cream machine is not working, or a gray, meaning they don't have any information. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14 St. Louis area McDonald's currently have their ice cream machine broken, okay? And once again, I will say, if 14 area McDonald's had their deep fryer broken and they couldn't make French fries, how long do you think it would be till there was a maintenance guy there who was fixing that deep fryer? If their grill didn't work and they couldn't make hamburgers or Big Macs or anything like that, how long do you think it would be until a maintenance guy from McDonald's corporate or the franchise, whatever, showed up and fixed that grill? Why the problem with the stupid ice cream machines? You know, I mean...
Yeah, I guess it's just not a priority. Now, I was listening to an old guy the other day. I think his name is Bart Inman. And he said he's just happy to train people to fix the ice cream machines. In fact, he'll pay you for the training. He doesn't care who you use to do it, but he just wants you to find a reputable HVAC guy to come in and fix the ice cream machine, Brad.
Okay, John, here's what I'm going to do. And I give you a perfect example. This is the power of YouTube.
And who are you calling right now, Brad?
No, I'm not going to call anybody. I'm going to pull up Cleetus McFarland, okay? And I'm going to look at the video, okay? He put this video up 15 hours ago, okay? 15 hours ago, okay? It already has 838,000 views.
And for people who don't know, you can go to yesterday's show, July 22nd, C Block, and Brad gave his monthly dissertation on why YouTube is changing entertainment.
And it should be changing retail, and to the point where somebody in the McDonald's corporate office should say, hey, boss, they should say the CEO. You know, there's this real popular YouTube guy, and he's pushing on this video he put up the other day where he's got this jet-powered car, and what do they want to do? They want to go to McDonald's because they love McFlurries. And he went to McDonald's, went through the drive-thru in his jet-powered Camaro, and when they got to the point where they ordered the McFlurries, the person said, our ice cream machine's broke. Our ice cream machine's broke. Boss, we need to fix this. We need to do whatever it is. We need to, if it takes $10 million, we need to fix the ice cream machine problem at McDonald's. But yet, it doesn't happen.
They should follow the Cleetus McFarland model, is what you're saying, Brad. Brad, you pulled that video up so quickly. I just got on Boomer Facebook, and I messaged a sweet Jewish girl that grew up in North County that's about your age. And I said, after all these decades, Brad finally found the Cleetus.
Whatever.
She said it would never happen.
Are you talking about Phyllis Quint, who I dated in high school?
I am, Brad. I remember that story. See, and that's when you became a Zionist, right?
See, here we go once again.
You had to pledge allegiance to the Israeli government, and I think that's where a lot of your positions come from, Brad.
I don't understand.
And I don't mean the positions you had with her, but I mean, your positions on Palestine and Israel.
Maybe because my mom, brought us up, and I told you the story. People ask me all the time, what religion are you? What religion were you raised? I don't know. We went to all sorts of different churches.
Where'd you go on Easter, Brad?
We went to the North Drive-In on 367, and we sat there with our speaker hung on our window, and we watched the preacher give the sunrise. See, and to me, I'm going like, I have people I know that are Seventh-day Adventists, okay? I recently had this situation where I had someone explain to me their whole family situation with Seventh-day Adventists, and the interesting part of it is, I didn't know this. Do you know there's a part of the Seventh-day Adventist religion, which is a Christian religion, which has Judaism in it? Did you know this?
I did not know that. Did you learn that at their recent debacle of a trip to St. Louis, Brad?
No, it was to the point where I'm fascinated by religion and people. I mean, when I used to live up in North County in Hazelwood. By the way, I need to talk to you about. I put in my note for tomorrow. When I used to live up in Hazelwood on North Hanley Road, across the street from us was the Jehovah's Witnesses Hall, and every Sunday morning we knew when the Jehovah's Witnesses hall when the services were because they'd be knocking on our door, and it got to the point where
then you have to hide behind the
No,
furniture.
I got out. I love talking to them. My house in St. Charles County, we were near an apartment complex that had a bunch of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, the Mormon guys, and these guys would show up on our front lawn with their nice, nicely pressed white shirts and their ties and their bicycles. I would bring out chairs and I would sit and I would talk religion with them. I mean, one day I talked for like 2 hours with these two guys. It was fascinating because this is part of their religion. They go out and proselytize when they're like 18 or 19 years old, stuff like that. I'm fascinated by that. And I'm not saying the world would be better if there were more Brad Hildebrands around, but it would, because I'm not going to beat the guys up from the Seventh-day Adventist Church or the Jehovah's Witnesses or the Jews or anything. I appreciate diversity in people, how they view God and a better place to live and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to kill you over it. I'm going to listen to what you have to say and think, you know what? I understand. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying, John?
And sometimes I listen when I don't even plan on it. Like when I'm driving in West St. Louis County and I hear KFUO on 104.5 in an area where it shouldn't be. Brad, as we wrap up the show, I just want you to know that I pray for you legally and religiously. And
John,
by the way, I'm going to charge you a full billable hour on a $500 legal firm for this.
John, when I see, interesting is my FCC buddies who've read my pleadings to the FCC, they'll call me and go, "I can't believe you said that." And you know what my example of that is?
What's that?
My example of that is, you can be plain vanilla and nobody will notice you, but you can do things that move outside the envelope that everybody else lived their life in, and people notice you. Got it, John?
Yep. Hey, your advice to pull out of the box. I got you, Brad. I'm more of a stay in there kind of guy. Brad, I will see you on Thursday.
I'm not going to touch that.